Namaskaram. I am Pranathi Ganapuram. In today's episode of In a Nutshell, I will be talking about the musical form Prabandha as described in the Lakshana Grantha Sangita Parijata of Ahobala. There are numerous Lakshana Granthas in our Indian music system which have documented both theoretical and practical aspects of our Indian music. One such Lakshana Grantha or a treatise is Sangita Parijata. A Prabandha is a musical form which is currently not in vogue, but our infamous kritis and kirtanas that we have all been singing and we have all been listening to in our Carnatic music system have originated from this musical form, Prabandha. Sangita Parijata is the work of Ahobala that is written in the 17th century. This work is one of the earliest texts of the North Indian music that includes many South Indian musical elements. This treatise talks about the 22 Shrutis, Suddha and Vikrita Swaras, Raga classification, musical instruments, qualities of a singer, Grama, Murchana, Gamakas, Alankaras, Gitas, Prabandhas, etc. The shlokas numbered from 500 to 598 in the first chapter of the treatise, that is Raga Gita Vichara Kanda, encapsulates the various aspects of Gitas or Prabandhas. Gitas are defined as the ones that can be sung. Ahobala mentions the origin of Gita to be Samavedas, which is brought down to us by Narada. Gitas are of two types, Anibadha and Nibadha. Nibadha Gitas are the same as Prabandhas. Gitas are also known by 5 names, Rupa, Rupaka, Vastu, Prabandha and Ajeya. 3 types of Gitas are mentioned, namely Daivata, Devamanusha and Manusha. The Daivata Gita is composed in Samskrita and is set to Margatala, while Devamanusha is composed in Samskrita and is set to Deshitala. Manusha Gita is composed in regional or Deshi language and is set to Deshitala. Ahobala mentions that a good Gita should possess the following 10 qualities: Vyaktatva, Purnatva, Saukumarya, Prasannata, Salankaratva, Madhurya, Shlaghyata, Samatva, Suraktatva and Vikrishtatva. A second set of qualities of a good Gita are also mentioned. It states that there should not be any variation in the sentiments expressed in the raga to which the Gita was tuned and the time measure to which it was set. Repetitions should be avoided. It should be polished and should not contain any indecent expressions. It should be a creation of distinction according to the commonly or universally accepted doctrines. It should have recognition of the distinctive people. Etymologically, Prabandha means that which is bound. Prabandhyate iti prabandhaha. It forms a part of the Nibadha Sangita. Sangita Parijata mentions that there are 5 dhatus or parts in Prabandhas, namely Udgraha, Melapaka, Dhruva, Antara and Abhoga. Udgraha is the introductory part of the Prabandha. Melapaka is a bridge between Udgraha and Dhruva. Dhruva is the one that stays constant. Antara brings together Melapaka and Abhoga. Abhoga is the concluding portion or the Gita Purti of the Prabandha. Ahobala mentions the 6 angas of Prabandha to be Pada, Tala, Swara, Pata, Tena and Biruda. Padas are the words or the sahitya of the composition. Tala is the time measure. Swaras are the solfa passages. Pata refers to the sounds originated from the percussion instruments like tad, dhit, tom. Tena refers to auspicious words. Biruda refers to the words that are in praise of the deity or the person referred to in the Prabandha. A Prabandha must at least have two of these angas. A Prabandha can have different number of angas being included in them. Based on the number of angas, Prabandhas are divided into Medini with 6 angas, Vidini with 5, Deepini with 4, Vilambini with 3 and Taravali with 2 angas. Ahobala also classifies Prabandhas into Niryukta and Aniryukta. Niryukta is the one where the Prabandha is confined to a specific raga, tala, meter, etc., while Aniryukta is not. Ahobala also classifies Prabandhas into Suda Prabandha, Ali Prabandha and Viprakirna Prabandha. 4 other types of Prabandhas are also mentioned, namely Bindu, Daru, Ashtapadi and Dhruvapada. Ahobala mentions 8 types of Suda Prabandhas, 24 types of Ali Prabandhas and 36 types of Viprakirna Prabandhas. In Prabandhas of the Lamba type, the Udgraha can consist of 1 or 2 sections. The Dhruva is sung once or twice. There are 2 Abhogas and it ends with the Dhruva section. In Dandaka Prabandhas, the Antara is not to be seen. In Tripada, there are 3 Khandas and 4 Khandas in Chatushpada and 6 Khandas in Shatpada Prabandha. Ahobala mentions that there are 4 Gita Varnas or syllables in Laghu, 8 in a Guru, 12 in a Pluta, 2 in a Dhruta and 1 in an Anudhruta. Saptatalas beginning with Dhruvatala are used in Suda Prabandhas. Ekatala is used in Lambha Prabandha. As the name indicates, Rasatala is used in Rasa Prabandha, Simhalila Tala in Simhalila Prabandha, Vijayatala in Vijaya Prabandha, Kandukatala in Kanduka Prabandha, Hamsatala in Hamsalila Prabandha and Shampatala in Sampata Prabandha. Shampatala is also used in Turagalila Prabandha. Dhruvatala is used in Gazalila Prabandha. Gatha Prabandhas are sung without any tala. Hamsanada Tala is used in Kalahamsa Prabandha. Talarnava comprises of a combination of talas. 2 talas are used in Panchanana Prabandha, 3 talas in Umatilaka and Tribhangi, 4 talas in Chaturmukha, 5 talas in Panchatala, Sri Vilasa and Bhangi. 3 gatis are implemented in Tripatha Prabandha. Both Swara and Sahitya can be seen in Vartani Prabandhas. Varna Prabandhas are composed in Karnata Bhasha or Kannada. The concept of Swarakshara is seen in Swarartha Prabandhas. In Matraka Prabandhas, the syllables of the Sahitya occur in an orderly manner. Tripada, Chatushpada and Shatpada Prabandhas are composed in Desi languages. Auspicious words are used in Mangalachara Prabandha as the name indicates. Dholari Prabandhas are composed in Lata Bhasha. Syllables are less and swaras are more in Urvi Prabandhas. Pata Varnas are seen in Vadanti Prabandhas. In Kaivada Prabandhas, Pata is seen in the Udgraha and Dhruva, while Padas are seen in the Antara and Abhoga. In Jhombada Prabandhas, the Udgraha begins at Panchama and the Dhruva section begins at the Shadja. Raga Mishraka Prabandha has a combination of ragas being implemented. 2 ragas are used in Panchanana Prabandha, while 3 ragas are used in Umatilaka and Tribhangi Prabandha, and 5 ragas are used in Sri Vilasa and Bhangi Prabandha. Karana Prabandha is listed under Suda Prabandha, but the characteristics of it are not discussed. There are variations when listing a raga and describing them later. Example, Ankacharini, Angacharini, Kanduka, Kanda, Umatilaka, Umapurnaha Tilaka, Bhangirata and Bhangi, Harivilasa and Haravilasa. Under Viprakirna Prabandhas, Urvi is not mentioned while listing but is defined later. Kanduka and Arya Prabandhas are mentioned under both Ali and Viprakirna Prabandhas. Coming to the next type of classification of Prabandhas, Bindu, Taru, Ashtapadi and Dhruvapada. Bindu is composed in Dravida language and is set to any tala. It is always sung in a fast tempo. Daru is in fast tempo and is composed in Tailanga Bhasha, that is Telugu. Ashtapadi has 8 stanzas. It is composed in any language set to Triputa tala and is sung in the accompaniment of nada of the ghanta. Dhruvapada is composed in North Indian languages. Sarangadeva in his Sangita Ratnakara only mentions 3 synonyms for Gitas, Rupaka, Vastu and Prabandha. He leaves out Antara while naming the dhatus of the Prabandha, as he considered it to be a part of the Salaga Suda Prabandhas only. Srinivasa in his Ragatattva Vibodha also mentions only 4 dhatus of Prabandhas, namely Udgraha, Sthayin, Sancharin and Dyotaka. Sthayin is equivalent to the Dhruva but is considered to be in the second position. Sarangadeva gives different names for the Prabandhas depending upon the number of Angas and also gives a set of alternate names to the Prabandhas. Venkatamakhi in his Chaturdandi Prakashika mentions that Gita and Prabandha are 2 different forms. He also mentions that Suda Prabandha was originally a Gita. It had 2 varieties, Shuddha and Chayalaga. Other Nibaddha varieties are mentioned under Prabandha. It is also known as Prabandha or Prabandha Gita or Prabandha Giti. He mentions that Turagalila Tala is used for Turagalila Prabandha, whereas Sangita Parijata mentions Turagalila Prabandha to be in Shampatala. The works referred for this presentation are the following. It is observed that Ahobala has mentioned various characteristics of these Prabandhas like their Angas, types, dhatus, etc. But examples of these Prabandhas have not been mentioned by Ahobala in Sangita Parijata. Even in the raga aspects, the number of ragas that these Prabandhas could be sung have been given, but the specific ragas to which these Prabandhas could be sung have not been mentioned. Even in the tala aspect, the talas names have been mentioned, but the execution of these talas, the kriyas or the angas of these talas have not been mentioned. To conclude, it is always interesting to study the Lakshana Granthas or treatises, which gives us an insight on the history of our Indian music system and also helps us understand how the music system has evolved and has paved way to the music that we get to listen today. Likewise, the Prabandhas, although are not in vogue today, have paved way to all the musical forms that we get to listen today and learn today, like the Geetams, Varnams, Swarajatis, Kritis and Kirtanas. Thank you.